Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
Top general in Afghanistan worries about wimps in the White House. I'm Matt Barber, Director of Cultural Affairs with Liberty Counsel and Associate Dean with Liberty University School of Law. In for Matt Staver today. And joining me in studio is Sean Akers, Dean of Liberty University's Helms School of Government and Policy Analyst with Liberty Counsel. Well, Sean, General Stanley McChrystal, the top war general in the battle and the war ongoing in Afghanistan, has come under a firestorm of criticism from those on the left and has infuriated President Obama and the White House with a number of very direct and blunt criticisms that he has for President Obama and for Vice President Joe Biden and, frankly, for the way that President Obama has been running this very important conflict that our United States Armed Services are going through in Afghanistan right now. In a article that General McChrystal gave to Rolling Stone magazine, of all publications, he was, again, highly critical of the Obama administration and actually at one point said, did McChrystal, that he had seized control of the war, quote, by never taking his eye off the real enemy, the wimps in the White House. Now, Sean, I think certainly some of the criticism that General McChrystal is experiencing here, he brought on himself. We have a commander-in-chief who is the general's the general reports to the commander-in-chief, in this case President Obama, as his civilian commander. And to publicly question the leadership of President Obama, I think, is problematic, certainly, and undermines the president's authority. Now, that said, I want to put that aside for a minute and say, however, I think many of the criticisms that General McChrystal has, and certainly a number of people within the armed services that I've spoken with, says more about President Obama than it does General McChrystal or many of the commanders and high-ranking officials in the armed services and in the Pentagon who have a big problem with the way that this commander-in-chief is running concurrent wars in both Afghanistan and Iraq.
You know, Matt, when we look at the current situation of the United States military, never before in history have we had the kind of threats and potential threats. We live in a post 9/11 society with threats coming from just about every corner of the globe, and you see that stress beginning to bear out even on the highest ranks of the U.S. military. Now, I think you and I both would agree that one has to be a man under authority. This is the way that this centurion approached Christ. He said that I am one under authority, and all you have to do is speak, and I know that my child will be healed, because when I say go, people go, and the things that you have authority over are going to obey you. So that this happened is probably not a good thing. You have a general that answers to a commander-in-chief, and to be insubordinate is not something that should be emulated. But at the same time, we've got to recognize, Matt, the number of stressors that are on these people, the amount of frustration that they're having with an administration that acts contrary to the greatest wisdom of the generals running the military branches, and often in ways that they find dangerous, insupportive, and counterproductive. From that stance, you really kind of have to feel for him. I do wish, to be quite honest with you, that he had taken an honorable way out, resigned his post, and then made his views known, but that's not the way it played out.
Well, you hearken back to the Bush administration, and President Bush always said that he was looking to the boots on the ground and the commanders who know how to run and operate a war for their wise advice and counsel on how to do just that, how to operate a war.
That's right.
And President Bush would listen to the requests and made every effort that he possibly could to accommodate the needs in order to win, again, concurrent wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. By contrast, unfortunately, I think there's a great deal of frustration on the part of many of the commanders throughout the armed services in that they are making very specific requests and letting this administration know what they need in order to have success and protect the lives and well-being of our United States Armed Services and to secure and fortify national security. And yet the president continues to come up wanting in what he provides. For instance, McChrystal requested tens of thousands of reinforcements to come in Afghanistan, to have a surge in Afghanistan.